Once upon a time, on Sun and Snow, our squad of sadists met with the Loose Collective, the group responsible for the attack on Thane's Stand. Arlana, the woman Thamir's kin directed him toward, explained the importance of the gauntlet, stressing that it needed to be protected at all costs. Matixia's involvement in the attack was revealed during this conversation, drawing much ire from the rest of the group. Tazaruk and Jeff visited the temple in Kent before traveling north to the location in the barbarian's dream. It was there the Dragonborn descended to the lake floor and finally got his revenge on the giant responsible for the desolation of his people, Arudmir. But in doing so, his thirst awakened something much deeper, and the voice from the darkness told him the gauntlet needed to be destroyed. Now, with the group, sans Nova, awkwardly sitting in the wake of an unexpected revelation regarding their Elven Ranger companion, they collectively wonder what their next step is. Meanwhile, our favorite cleric finds herself in the same place she's been for hours, sitting cross-legged in her room at the inn. Nova, it only takes you 4 hours of meditation to achieve a full night worth of rest. With the rest of the time, with the words of Jeff echoing in your head, you try to make verbal contact with the source of your magical abilities. And at some point, sometime in the very, very early morning, you hear a muffled bang from Cypher's room, followed by faint yelling. But that was half a day ago. I want you to roll me a religion check.
It's 16, natural.
Cool, that's high enough. So over the course of the night, it takes you a long time, hours and hours of just this severe focus, channeling all of your concentration toward whatever the source is of your abilities. And over the course of the night, you feel, at first it's very weak, like this faint pulse originating from somewhere inside of you. But over the course of the next several hours, it grows stronger and stronger, and you feel a presence with you. It's difficult to articulate, but you know it's there. And in a moment, several hours into this meditation, you feel a brief but almost overwhelming urge to return home, to return to your people, to return to Eden. And just as quickly as that presence comes, it disappears. It doesn't speak any words to you, but you just feel this longing for home. And when you finally do, you're sitting on your bed, drenched in sweat. You're hungry, you're thirsty, you're not sure what time of day it is. You've been sitting here for hours, but you feel good because you realize that there is something out there that is watching over you.
I am now going to leave my room and head to the closest, I guess, bar is the only restaurant that's in this city right now, to get a drink and something to eat. And also meet with the group and see like what happened since I was last out.
Okay. So you leave your room. You leave your room hungry, thirsty, kind of curious to where all your companions are. And as soon as you walk through your door, right in front of you is this semi-translucent, humanoid-shaped creature. It has its back initially facing you, at least you think that it's its back. But as soon as the door opens, it reels around towards you, exposing this grotesque face. Like it has somewhat humanoid features, but they look like they're all kind of mix-matched. And this creature just lets out this, I want you to roll initiative.
5.
You're kind of taken aback by all of this because this is not something you were expecting at all. And as it looks at you and lets out this scream, it reels its hand back and with this smoke claw rakes against you. It's going to do 14 points of damage as its sharp claws tear into your skin.
Oh no.
And this thing is now pressing towards you. You are still essentially standing in the doorway of your room at the inn. Looking around the room, like the hallway this creature's in, you don't see anything else. It's just an empty hallway besides this creature.
I want to hit the creature. Do I get a double action?
Does it say anywhere that on your character sheet that you have a multi-attack option?
I do.
Okay, yeah, then go for it.
I would also like to yell out for my squadron to come help me.
Okay, we'll consider that yell as a bonus action, but you can go ahead and roll for your attacks as well.
Little does she know.
A 5.
You take a swing at this creature, but still with this pain where it had scratched you. It kind of you swing at it with like a weakened swing, and it just brings its hand up and seems to block it with like the forearm. And this creature takes another swing at you. Oh, it rolled a 12, so it doesn't do any damage with you, but with both of its hands, it shoves you back into your room. You kind of stumble for a minute before finding your footing, and it is now approaching you, entering into this enclosed room that you now find yourself in.
Said, can't you shut the door?
Can't you shut the door? You can try, although at this point the creature had. Well, both of you are now in the room, so you can try to get past it to shut the door, but you would just be essentially shutting this thing and you in this room.
Okay.
Like it's standing essentially right in the doorway. Its body is between you and the door.
I want to blind this creature, and it lasts a minute, so I'm gonna try to get out the room after I blind him.
All right, what is the spell saving throw? What do I need to roll?
Constitution 14.
It only rolled a 9, so even though you can barely see the eyes on this thing, you can, from what you can see, they kind of begin to white over, and it lets out another. It's still between you and the way out, but it now can no longer see you, so it will have disadvantage on future attack roll. You still have movement, so if you want to try to push past this thing, it will get an opportunity attack on you, but that attack will have disadvantage. Okay, so you're going to push past this thing. It takes another swing at you, but you duck underneath it, pushing yourself through the doorway, and now you are in the hallway with the creature behind you. It knows that you ran past it because it would have brushed up against you, and it is going to essentially stay where it is, maybe take a step or two out of the doorway back into the hallway, and you're going to hear this whisper just rack your brain. It's just a collection of syllables. There's no sense to it, at least anything that you can make. I want you to roll me a wisdom saving throw.
19.
You hear this, but then you shake it away. It's partially your own willpower that's fighting this, but you feel that same presence from before, the one from when you were meditating, kind of fill your body and kind of keep this thing at bay. And the creature behind this, and it's still standing in the doorway. It's back to your turn. So you're in this long hallway. There are doors on either side, which you remember are the rooms where everyone was staying. And then at the far end of the hallway is a set of wooden stairs that go up to the end.
So when I woke up, I heard Cypher yell, or I hear yelling in Cypher.
That was, you're thinking maybe several hours ago. You know where that room is, but after you had yelled out for help, there was no response. You didn't hear anything else.
She says she goes upstairs.
So with this creature hot on your heels, you sprint down this hallway and up the stairs, your feet very loudly thumping on the wood on your way up. And as you reach the top of the stairs, you find a couple things. One, you can see like where the sunlight is streaming through the windows. It's maybe midday at this point. And as you run up to the top stair and looking out across this room, it's surprisingly normal. People are playing music, they're drinking. I mean, it's noon, so it's not like it's incredibly packed at this point, but people are there for lunch and for noontime drinks. And the bartender just kind of looks over to you and kind of gives you a bit of a nod, but no one else pays any attention to you.
Am I stuck in another dimension?
No, you're just, it's the inn. This inn looks exactly like it was the night before.
Okay, where is everybody?
Roll a perception check.
12.
So you see a lot of faces that you don't recognize, like dirty, soot-covered faces. A lot of the people who are here are miners. And looking back over your shoulder, you see the creature that had just attacked you now standing at the base of the stairs, just staring up at you with blank eyes. Even if the eyes weren't blinded, it's just standing there and staring.
This is like a night.
This weird semi-corporeal being is just there. It's like smoke that that this clings to a single point. There's some lights and things behind it that you can see.
I'm obviously going to have to kill this thing so that it gets away from me. I'm a scary movie fanatic, so...
So it's weird because this creature seems to have no interest in following you up the stairs. Now that you're up the stairs, it seems like it's just standing guard at the base of these stairs.
Interesting. I'm going to continue to try to find my friend who abandoned me.
Where are you going specifically? What are you doing specifically?
If I can't see them in the inn, then I'm just going to retrace my steps to all of the places that we visited before. I'm going to leave the inn.
All right, so from kind of where you're standing at the top of these stairs, the bar is across from you. To your right is like the front entrance to the inn, and to your left is the back entrance that you had entered through the night prior.
I'm going to go through the front entrance.
You walk up to the front entrance, the door opens before you, and right ahead of you is the town. There's Kent. You'd kind of become acquainted with the night prior, although it was kind of dark when you had first arrived, and you guys didn't really do a whole lot because you had come right to the inn. And as soon as you step forward, your feet just step into mud and melted snow. And as you look a little bit closer, you realize, shit, there's blood in this snow. And before you can really think any further, like what's going on, you hear a yell from behind you. We have a contestant in the fighting pit! And the whole bar just erupts. And people just are running. They're pushing their tables and their chairs aside. And they're like, oh my gosh, you're gonna fight Dan. You're gonna fight Daniel.
Okay.
And you see then, kind of in the other corner of the room, this little mousy looking guy who stands up. Now listen here, you guys know that there's going to be no fighting unless me, Daniel the man's manager, set this thing up, or else my name isn't Trevor. You kind of see now that he has like some gnomish features to him. He is really, really tiny. He's probably one of the weakest creatures that you've ever seen in your entire life. And he says, how much are you willing to bet? And a couple people from around the bar come over and they start putting money and things like on the table in front of them. And as they're doing this, one of them walks over and the door is, you're now standing outside of this door. And they just look at you like up and down. And this guy just scoffs. Good luck. And then he closes the door.
Uh-huh.
So now you were outside. You were outside in the fighting pit.
Yeah, I'm going to try to run away.
This is going to be interesting. Roll me a dexterity check.
16.
Realizing very quickly that this is about to turn south, and you are not interested in being roped into another fight, you start sprinting across the center of this fighting pit. Each step is falling deeply into the mud. You almost lose your shoe a couple times as you're running across here. And looking around, you notice bits of skin and fingers and a very fresh jaw laying on the side. And you run all the way to where the front gate is of this fighting pin. As you reach it, attempting to throw it open, you hear from around you, to your left and to your right, although kind of above, voices. And you just hear, Dan the man, Dan the man. And very briefly, you turn around and you can see where the bleachers that are on top of these buildings on the outside of the fighting pit are quickly, very quickly, filling with people. And Trevor, the one from before, is climbing up a ladder on the top of the building from where the inn was. No, I told you guys, he doesn't like to be called Dan. He likes to be called Daniel. And the whole crowd just pauses. There's this kind of an awkward pause, and then you hear, Daniel the Manual, Daniel the Manual. And the door that you had just left out of is thrown open as this giant orc comes walking out. And he has this fresh smile on his face. There's a little bit of stubble. And he looks like, in his eyes, he looks genuinely friendly. But you don't think that this is about to be a friendly interaction. And you're standing right at the gate. But now there's a crowd and this guy is at your back.
Okay. Well, I'm still attempting to throw the door open, right?
Sure. It's a pretty weak gate. Just roll me a strength check. You guys are at the northern part of town. We'll maybe get you guys roped into this as well. I want all you guys to roll perception checks.
I got a 14.
I also
don't
got
come
a
to your
10.
rescue.
I got a 10.
Okay.
I got a 10.
I got a 9.
11.
None of you hear it except for Thamir. You hear very faintly from across town just a chant beginning to rise from the fighting pit.
I'm going to run over to it.
So right now, you guys are all still standing at the northern entrance to town. There are two elves who are currently gushing all over Cypher. Cypher, for you, as Thamir just kind of takes off in the direction of these chants, maybe he's just excited for a fight. Maybe he just wants to get away from this awkward moment where like you're being treated like royalty. One of the elf kind of whispers to you, "This belongs to you." And he places in your hand the ring your brother had taken from you during your last, and you realize now your final encounter with him. And he says, "Your people need you." And it just kind of further solidifies that final parting moment that you had with him, with your brother, because it echoes the exact same words.
I go with Amir.
So your group very quickly begins to leave you as you are just essentially crowned the rightful king of Vormir.
Tazaruk is right next to me, and Jeff.
Oh wait, I
Yeah,
want to follow them too.
Stefan's just hanging out with Taz.
I want to follow them as well.
Wait. Before they leave, can I give the flyer to Tazaruk? I'll give him the flyer. I'm giving him the flyer. Tazaruk, receive this flyer.
What flyer?
The flyer of what the fuck's her name? Of Nova.
Oh, that
The
flyer.
wanted poster.
Tazaruk, honestly, you're stronger than me, so hopefully you find out what the Burning Hand is. If I don't see you in the travels again, I'm gonna have an army, man. So we can go fuck shit up later.
Wait, you're leaving us now?
My kingdom needs me.
Stay, watch the fight, and then you can go.
There's a fight.
Well, I mean, they ran off towards the fighting pit, and what else would they get excited about?
I talk to the
Come
elves, elvish people. I'm sorry. What are they to me? Are they like my subordinates?
Are you asking? Who are you asking?
Yeah.
You asking Jeff?
Yeah. I'm like, well, who are you? What are you? What are you to me?
We're Kingsguard, and you can see like the armor that's on them.
What is your name and what is your name?
The one guy introduces himself as Garrick, the one that you've been talking to this whole time, and
Garrick.
the other one introduces himself as Bellinor.
All right. Well, Garrett and I'm sorry, I forgot your name. Anyways, I mean, you guys can help watch this fight, and then we can go on our way. I have a great team here, and we kick some ass. If they join us to Vormir, we can see what's going on. Okay, and then I join Tazaruk and Jeff.
Jeff's just like, what a crazy day. Thamir and Matixia, you two are the first to arrive at the fighting pit. You arrive on the outside, like on the front there, and you are very, very surprised to see your elven companion Nova in the fighting pit, standing right at the gate. Nova, did you roll that strength check from before? A 10? You are standing at the gate, just trying to force it to open. Daniel, this large orc, is approaching you from behind, and you see up ahead two of your companions, Thamir and Matixia, running towards you, and they just stop for half a moment, their eyes wide, just like trying to process what the fuck is happening.
I am going to jump in the fighting pit with Nova.
I'm gonna watch.
Roll me a acrobatics check. This is your opportunity to showcase how cool it is that you jump over this fence.
20.
You vault this fence, landing very heavy on the other side, and in this thick mud that is now accumulating with all the melting snow, you sink maybe an inch into the ground, maybe an inch and a half, and right on your heels, Matixia runs up and just grabs the edge of the fence and just watches. Is there anything you want to say, any words of encouragement?
Go get him, Tiger.
So this crowd now, as you land, they just erupt. And I want you two to roll me initiative.
13.
She said 15.
15? Cool. So you see Thamir jump over this fence. There is this orc coming up from behind you. You get the first turn on this. What do you want to do?
I'm going to cure my wounds because I have a very, very low. So I'm going to do my 4th level cure wounds.
You can go ahead and roll for that. Is there anything that you want to do with your bonus or with your movement speed?
No.
Thamir, as you land in this mud and you kind of gather your bearings around you, the orc that is sprinting originally in Nova's direction, now your direction as well, is upon you like this. And before you're able to fully comprehend the speed that this creature is exhibiting, he throws a punch across your face, only an 11 to hit. You just very, very quickly duck underneath it, and it's your turn.
Ready for this? I'm going to cast lightning.
Okay. Motherfucker.
Bolt. Stroke of lightning forming a line 100 feet long and 5 feet wide blasts out from you in a direction of your choice.
You're gonna hit
Jesus fucking Christ.
Dexterity saving throw of 14.
He's expecting like a punch because that's what he's used to. Instead, you just throw this lightning bolt like out of your hands into this thing. Just it hits him, but then the lightning bolt continues on, smashing through the inn at his rear, and inside you just hear, "Holy fuck!" As like everyone inside just freaks the fuck out. Whoever was still in there. There's a large hole in the center of the wall at the inn, and there is fire bouldering along the edges.
You know what the damage is?
What is it?
23.
Motherfucker. You're looking at the inn and all the destruction, and then you look back toward your original target, and he is just charcoal black. He's not dead, but he is severely burned across his body, and he's just looking at you wide-eyed and terrified. Tazaric and Jeff and Cypher and the two guards, you guys all arrive at the same time. You hear this explosion immediately in front of you. You turn the corner to see where the fighting pit comes into view, and you just see now the chaos that's left in the wake of this spell. And people like on the stands, half of them are cheering, half of them are screaming. They're not sure what's going on. And you just see Matixia just standing at the fence at an amusement park.
Okay, I'm going to use a bonus action. I'm going to do an unarmed strike. And guess what?
Fucking A! Go ahead and roll me a percentage die.
I got a 7 and then a 9.
The rest of you guys come into view just as Thamir lays his right hand into center mass of this orc, or the blackened husk of this orc, blowing him to pieces. There is this large thunderous Nova. It sounds similar to the noise that you had heard the night prior before you heard Cypher yell. And it is now raining pieces of this orc among the crowd, among the fighting pit, and among you guys as you reach the fence. Matixia standing closest, you and Nova standing closest to this, are now covered in soot and blood.
Thank you.
And the crowd just goes absolutely silent.
I was in the middle of preparing my spell. Like I was preparing to make something, but when that happened, I'm just like stuck with my hands out. Like my eyes are really wide. I'm pretty sure I got blood in my mouth now. And I'm just in shock. Like, I don't move. I'm not making noise either. Like everybody's just silent at this point, processing what just happened.
This past 5 to 10 minutes has been the weirdest 5 to 10 minutes of your life.
She has no idea what's going on.
And after this long moment, long eternity of a moment passes, you hear from up on one of the stands, "No!" And Trevor, this little mousy guy, runs over to the side as more pieces of this orc is just raining down. He picks up some undetermined piece of flesh that had landed near him, and you just hear him say, "Daniel." And then the rest of the crowd begins to cheer.
What do I win?
There are several gold coins thrown into the fighting pit, and one of the bartenders, who also had made his way up to the top of where these bleachers are, goes over to the side. We haven't had anyone beat Daniel in a really long time, ever. And he looks across this field that is now just covered in blood and guts and vital organs. And as you're picking up the gold coins, individual ones, and he's like, "Well, I mean, you're welcome now to have free rooms at the inn, if you want, and free drinks for you and whoever you choose, within reason." And he kind of looks down, over the railing and down at the destroyed inn. We're gonna have to get that fixed. And the rest of the crowd, still cheering, kind of finds their way off the stands.
How much gold did I pick up?
You picked up in total, we'll say like 36 gold pieces.
Yay! I actually have gold again.
Can I pass out? at this
Jeff
point?
looks to you. Can you pass out?
Yes.
You just
I thought you-
slept for like 2
I know,
games.
but waking up these past 10 minutes have been very traumatic.
So, Nova, you begin to feel yourself feel incredibly lightheaded. You fall to a knee and you hear off to your side, Nova, are you okay? And Jeff runs over. Jeff runs over to your side, and he is sporting this multicolored, ridiculous-looking hat. It's like a top hat, kind of, but like flimsier. It's not hard brimmed, and it's just a collection of like yellows and purples and oranges.
It's a
He
pimp
looks
hat.
absolutely ridiculous. Yeah, it's kind of like a pimp hat, but like a very cartoonish pimp. The burn hand, did they get to you? I'm so sorry. My creature, I put him in the outside of your room to keep you safe, but if you're out here, he probably didn't do a good job. Is there anything I can get you? Are you okay?
I'm okay. Where are my friends? Because I need some answers. I need to tell them what happened right away.
They're all right in front of you now. Thamir, are you leaving the fighting pit? Nova, are you both leaving?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay. So the entrance to the gate, like the you had jumped it, so you like kind of go to push it and it fights you a little bit, so you just climb back over and you help Nova get over to the other side. The entire party is now standing on the outside of the fighting pit.
Okay. I turned to everyone and I explained that when I woke up, I got into battle with a spirit. And I want to know if that happened to them, because when I woke up from my trance, I guess, I heard some commotion in Cypher's room. So I just want to know what's going on.
I think Jeff can answer that question.
You said you got attacked by something? What did it look like?
I just give him this death stare because it sounds like he knows what the fuck I'm talking about. It sounds like he has something to do with it.
His face flushes a little bit. I'm sorry. That it was meant to keep you safe. Oh, geez, you've missed a whole lot of stuff. So we learned about this organization that's trying to kill you. And he kind of points over at Matixia. That one lied about the whole thing. And then he looks back at you. So we were worried about you. So I told everyone that I was going to put like a guardian outside of your door to like keep you safe from this organization. And it sounds like he was thinking that you were one of the bad guys. But you beat him, right? You're alive. So like that means you're really strong.
I grip him with one hand because he's so young and tiny
He is.
to me. I just hold him in the air, okay? And I hold him there for 14 seconds because that's how much damage that I took. And then I just drop him on the floor.
He doesn't even fight you. He is so upset with himself and also so weak by itself that he just, Nova, I'm really sorry. I just and you just choke him out for the next couple seconds, and his eyes dart around the rest of the group like pleading for someone to step in.
I'm gonna step in and stop him. I'm just gonna kind of pull him out of her hand and just kind of set him back on the ground.
So it's more like 7 or 8 seconds, but it's enough to get your point across.
Okay.
And Cypher, Garrick, the guard who had spoken to you before, kind of leans into you. Is this the kind of thing that happens with these people all the time?
Well, let me explain it to you. You see that one girl, little short one, Matixia? She's a thief, so watch your pockets.
Not sure.
That's Sazerac. Kind of like the bodybuilder, like that druid who just did that shit.
I'm 5'9".
Stay away from that guy. That elf that just has blood gunks all over herself. Yeah, she's something else. This is the little rascals I like to call. But they help me stay alive, and I can't really kill them. I don't want to. I know I can't really kill them. Trust me.
The Little Rascals?
He kind of looks back at you for a moment. So, wait, is that the name of the group? Is that who you guys are now? The Little Rascals?
Oh god.
It's gonna be canon. I mean, that's what Garrick thinks.
I don't hear any objections.
Dude, I'm 4 feet taller than you. Do not call me.
So we're called the Little Rascals.
So, these are the kind of people you associate with?
To be honest with you, not really. I killed the guy, and that big guy who just with the gunks and the big guy over there. They kind of threw tomatoes at me earlier, but it's okay. We're cool now.
Which one threw tomatoes at you?
No, actually, because I know you're gonna do something.
That's Balinor, who is stepping up, like the kind of younger one. He's more like hot tempered. I'll cut them right here.
Okay, I don't want you to gut anyone right now, but it was the two big guys. Don't worry, we can settle that later.
Just see what I did to that guy over there.
Yeah, relax. Like I said, stay away from the one who has all the gunky stuff on him, and watch out for the dragon. He looks like a dragonborn. Why you want to fight that? And Matix, like I said, watch your pockets.
Okay.
I saved you. How dare
She
you?
did save me. She is my hero. She told me I tried to sleep with her, but she didn't want to go in my bed the one night. So I guess now that I'm a king, I can do what I want now. Anyway,
I'm not gonna sleep
I
with you just because you're the
suppose-
king.
I
How dare you?
suppose that with your father and brother gone, they probably, they can't really complain about you hanging out with any of the. And he looks across the rest of you lesser races.
How dare he judge you? Who does he think he is? Put him in his place.
You guys, Cypher, you especially, you know this very well. The elves from Vormir are incredibly racist creatures. They are very ethnocentric.
Can I walk up and just pick up one of them by their hood
why?
and just drop him?
Roll a strength check.
9.
You reach over for the younger, like slightly smaller, more hot-tempered one, and as your hand grasps a hold of his robe, the second guard, Garrick, the one who didn't even look like he was paying much attention to you, suddenly spins around, pulls out his blade, and brings it to your throat. Let go.
I let go. Maybe next
And
time don't insult people.
Be nice.
Look, can I separate them?
you get in between them, and immediately Garrick steps away, and he just kind of gives everyone a cold look. Balinor, especially, since he's like the more gung-ho, ready to fight one, looks everyone over, but they both sheath their weapon and they listen to you.
Please go over there. Let me talk to these guys for a quick second. I need to talk to them. I want to talk to these my squadron, my little rascals.
So they step away a couple paces after sharing a glance at one another.
Listen, guys, if we go to Vormir, you have to understand something. This is why I kind of left myself. They're not gonna like any of y'all. Maybe you, Nova, you kind of sus, but yes, Nova, you could probably.
How am I sus?
I don't know.
Didn't I try to save you and I died?
You did, but you also were gonna not help us kill Jeff earlier. No offense, Jeff.
I didn't know what I was getting myself into. You should know that already.
Anyways, if we go to Vormir, as long as you guys are cool with me, I could talk to my people to be cool with you. Just saying. Picking up people by their hoods. What the hell?
He insulted me.
Don't do that. They're gonna. If you go to my village, they're probably gonna try to cut your throat for real.
Then tell them not to insult me.
I'd like to see them try.
Please don't, because then I don't want to start a war with you guys. Chill, alright? Just go, look, there's a bar. Famir got free drinks for himself. Maybe anyone else if he wants. Go get drunk. Matixia, stop drinking. You're alcoholic.
It was just that one game.
I kind of want to go back to Vormir. Just letting you guys know.
You gotta head down to Eden anyway.
Cypher, I want you to roll me a history check. And Nova, stand by. We'll see how high Cypher rolls on this. Because you would know this already.
12.
So you know that Eden is a place that's run by the elves. You know that it's somewhere in Numeria, the forest that Vormir is in, but you've never been there. You have heard of it, but you don't know exactly where it's located. Nova, you know that Vormir is on the way to Eden. You know that you have to essentially go through Vormir from this direction in order to get there. Jeff speaks up. I'm cool with going on, this crazy adventure or whatever. It'll be kind of cool to, see the place of the elves. But maybe we should get food or something, pack up a little bit before we go. I mean, I don't know if we're in any kind of rush or whatever, but I mean, I'll do whatever you guys want to do, but I know that we're gonna want to like restock and stuff. I'm sure you guys already know that. What am I even saying?
Can I pull Jeff aside? Look, I'm sorry for choking you out, but can you do us all a favor and please consult with us before you cast any more spells or do anything that affects the group or one of us as a whole?
Well, so I talked to Tazaruk already, before I cast it, and I knocked on your door and there was no response, and I left a note underneath like the door. It said, "You're protected." You didn't see the note?
Well, we needed to make sure you didn't die. So yeah.
But you're right. You're right. I'll make sure to try to do better to consult you in the future. I'm really sorry.
What time is it?
It's a little bit after midday, maybe like noon 30.
How long is the travel?
From where you guys are, roughly 2 weeks.
They're already clearing the path for us.
Yeah, but still distance-wise.
Yeah, it's so you guys, especially the Fey kind among you, and those who have traveled south. So Matixia, you would know this. Cypher and Nova, Jeff would know this as well. There's a pretty extensive road system south of Kent, and there is almost essentially a road that runs right from where you guys are straight to the outskirts of Numeria, the forest, and then it goes into like a woodland trail.
To Garrett and Belmar and tell them to go fetch some food, rations, supplies for our adventure back to Vormir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And both of them run off in the direction of the market. Anything else before you leave?
Guys, I can try and cut some time down for the trip. So, once we get out of town, I'll try and help us out.
That was really crazy what you did there when you made that guy explode. I think that we haven't really like talked about that. I mean, like I can do some crazy stuff too, don't get me wrong, but just never high five me.
I can high five, I just can't fist bump. How's that?
I'm just gonna refrain from touching you, or vice versa, whether it be high five or fisting.
Fisting?
All right, just keep an eye out for a bird then.
I will keep that in mind. Cypher,
No.
I want you to roll me a perception check.
Oh my god, I want to kill myself. 10.
10?
Yeah.
You don't see anything. You guys kind of make your way to the southern part of Kent, and maybe 30, 45 minutes later, the two guards return with a ton of rations, and they hand them off to everybody, and you guys put them in your packs that you had previously gotten from Thane's Stand when you had left. And it's maybe 2.5, 3 weeks worth of rations, so it should get you all the way to Vormir and then some. As you guys are exiting Kent, Tazaruk, you feel a very light tap on your shoulder. Excuse me.
I turn and look. Who is that?
You recognize the cleric that you had met at the temple from earlier that morning, I guess. And he's kind of like looking up at you and just kind of giving you a bit, like a smile, I guess. I see that you're leaving, and I noticed that you had come back in through the northern gate. It's your business whether you decide to follow your path to the northern temple or wherever that path takes you next. It's not my place to question it or you, but often people make the mistake of assuming their paths are preordained and that we're just pawns of the gods being shifted back and forth on a chessboard. I talk to a lot of people who always say things like that, like it's the god's will that this happens or that happens. And maybe that second part is true for some of us, but at the end of the day, our paths are our own. As you've seen things, I can see that. And I just want you to know, though those things may have been awful, there's still an infinite amount of other experiences out there. And, well, I just want you to know that there's alternatives. And he puts in your hand like a medallion with a string running through it. And on its facade is the same symbol that you had seen when you went to that northern temple, the one that was on the bodies of all the dead people that were there. Essentially the tree of life. He just kind of, again, looks up at you. Even if it's just you, even if your path is one that you decide to take without the help of the gods, that's your choice. I want you to know, I need you to know that there's choices. Your path could be anything.
Can I talk to him off to the side, out of earshot of everyone else?
You kind of see Jeff watch you as you walk off, and he kind of like gives like that confused beagle look where like he turns his head, but then he just continues like with the rest of the group, and you kind of essentially go around one of the buildings to where it's not nearly as busy. There's no one in the immediate vicinity. It's just you and this guy.
How much do you know about Balcazar Thane and the Frigid Doom?
Well, look, I think that people are entitled to believe the things they want to believe. I'm never going to tell them that they're wrong. But there were rumors that came out of the West a long time ago from other members of my order. I follow Gaia and her teachings. It was my impression that the gauntlet was gifted to Balcazar from Gaia, and that he had originated from some temple of hers in the West, and he was a paladin of hers. But the way that the story goes, he didn't really get along with a lot of the other people there. The things that he believed were different. It's kind of hard to explain, but he was a lot more rough than it just didn't really reconcile with a lot of Gaia's teachings. As for the Frigid Doom, he was here longer than any of us. After the Great War between the gods and all the planes were sealed off from one another, he stayed here for one reason or another. Maybe he just got stuck on this side of the doorway. He was one of the few lesser gods to remain on this plane. And, well, the way that the story goes, he had a fight with Balcazar north of here, and that's the rest of it is, the story that I'm sure you've heard 1,000 times up in Thane Stand, since that's the direction you came from. That temple that you had maybe visited, the one that you had asked about earlier, my understanding that was once a temple to Gaia as well, but it was lost, and I think it was lost to acolytes of the Frigid Doom during the time. It's since been lost, but he once controlled this area.
Was he necessarily an evil person? Or god, I guess?
That's kind of a matter of perspective. I'm sure
Or
there
was
are
he
plenty of
just
people.
misunderstood and seen as evil, despite
That's a good question.
not being so?
I try very hard not to see anyone as evil. I think that we all have our own motivations. He definitely doesn't like those of my kind, followers of Gaia, I can tell you that much. He's more of the ice. She's a greater god of the sun and of life, so they've always butted heads. But evil, I don't know.
Well, thank you for your time.
Yeah, just bear in mind, if you ever need anything, I'll be here. I'm happy to talk. What did you say your name was?
Tazaruk.
And he extends a hand to you. Tazaruk, I'm John. It's nice to meet you.
I'd shake his hand, and it was nice talking to you, John.
Safe travels. I hear that there's some crazy things happening south of here, so just be safe.
Oh, trust me, there's crazy things happening everywhere.
You could say that again. And he kind of starts to walk off.
There's crazy things happening everywhere.
Are we heading out now?
Yes.
I am going to cast Conjure Animals. How many people are in our group now?
7 plus you.
So 8 total.
Yep.
Perfect. I'm going to conjure up 8 riding horses.
As you guys exit Kent, the full larger continent, the one south of Gilead, the main continent, Mastier, opens up before you. As you guys are exiting, you see the rest of the group outside of Famir, just see him suddenly wave his hands about, and 8 horses just manifest out of nothing and appear before you.
All right, guys, we got some rides.
He's way too OP.
I really am.
You need a patch.
You guys are all getting on board the horses?
Yeah.
That's a free ride.
So with that, you guys all climb on top of the horses, and you head southward, expecting to see the green trees and fields commonly associated with the land south of Gilead. But instead, as you ride maybe half a mile or so down this road, you stare out across a sight eerily similar to that of the north. Thick snow clings to the pine trees on the far edges of your vision, a white, cold blanket. The trees directly ahead of you, the majority within your line of sight, are barren. Their skeletal limbs are swaying uneasily in the winter chill. Whatever unnatural force had swept through this land, it had done so swiftly and harshly. As you guys continue on, the sounds of Kent disappear from behind you. The sounds of civilization fade into stillness. Ahead of you, you hear no animals, no trickle of water. There is only silence, sporadically broken by the faint creak of a dead tree or the cold inhale of a breath to your lungs. Much of the path ahead of you, this road, is covered in snow. This is not common for those of you who are familiar with the land here. It's not common at all that there is snow south of Kent, especially this time of the year. I want someone to roll me a survival check.
I can roll it.
In this world, we use the Imperial system.
You use whatever I say.
I have +4 for survival.
I have +6.
Can you roll?
Yeah, I got a 23.
The road south of Kent splits after about half a mile or so. The main road delves deeper ahead into the dead trees, in the direction you need to go, the direction of Vormir, while the other branches westward, toward the northmost clutches of the Montier Empire. If you guys want to continue to Vormir, you can head straight. If you guys want to make a right and do a detour, you can do that. If you would like to cipher, you can do a history check to learn some more about the Montier Empire.
What do you guys think?
I want to go to Vormir.
I'm fine with whatever.
I'm good heading to Vormir.
Let's do it.
Okay, I do want to do a history check, though. Can I do it?
Yeah, go ahead and roll a history check.
For the love of fucking God! It's only 11.
You know about this place, but it's kind of hard to recall. There's been so much happening today, and the thought of going home is kind of a distraction enough for you. But just kind of off the top of your head, you know that the Montier Empire is really old, several generations old. It grew and expanded. There was 2 or 3 generations of conquerors that greatly expanded the influence of the empire. They are responsible for a lot of the roads that travel through Mastier. And you also know that they had a very comprehensive currency system that is still in effect today. The empire is still around, but it's a lot weaker than it used to be. And there's been something about a war that you can remember, but you can't immediately recall the details of. But the coins that you guys carry are branded with the seal of the Montier Empire.
Oh, Matixia, if you want to go get some more money and steal off people, you got to go that way towards your right.
All right, everyone is heading to Vormir then? You're just heading straight? So with that, you guys continue southward, trudging through this snow. Thamir, how long do your horses last?
1 hour.
Oh, God.
How long's it been?
We'll say they can get like in an hour. With the snow, maybe like 5 miles.
Okay. Can you let me know when we get to like 4.5 miles?
Sure. So if you guys remember, Arnlana had mentioned the town that you guys would pass through. It's roughly the halfway point between Kent and Vormir. The name of that was the Crossroads. And it'll take you about a week to get there, even with the horses. Are you guys having any conversation, talking about anything on your journey trudging through the snow?
Weird weather we're having, huh?
Tazaruk, Jeff kind of whistles over to you. Did you think any more about that curse that you guys had asked me about?
The curse.
You know, with Matixia.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, I want you to roll me a perception check to see if you hear this.
I rolled 20, not a nat 20.
You hear this. You hear Jeff whispering to Tazaruk.
I can hear you, right, pal? You're like yelling.
I don't know what you
No.
thought that I said, but I didn't say that.
No, Jeff, I said something about a purse for Matixia, not a curse.
Yeah, like, do you remember that guy who had sold me this hat? He was the one with the accent. He left. I didn't really see him after that one time that we had talked to him. But, yeah, we were talking about maybe getting you a purse that was there.
Alright, well, we're supposed to be allies, so you need to quit screwing around and putting curses on people. You almost got Nova killed.
Do you remember when we were allies and you didn't tell anyone your secrets, and then you killed Glorthane, the only adult figure in my life that I looked up to?
You know that it was Thamir's people that were participating in that.
I didn't think about that.
Or
Thamir. Thamir. Do you care to weigh in?
Huh. You know that you're also working with those people as well right now as we speak.
I don't question the things that my God tells me, and Balcazar Thane told me that this was my path to follow, and even though I might not like it, I'm gonna follow it anyway well, because he knows what's best for me, right? So that's what I'm doing.
Well, then maybe you should start working with your team.
Maybe we should all start working with our teams. Is
Okay,
there
then
any-
we
is
all
there
work with our team.
is there anything else that you want to tell us? Any other secrets?
I don't think so. I think everything kind of came out right then.
Well, I'm keeping an eye on you just in case.
That's rude.
And then he's gonna whisper again. Also, it's crazy weird that Cypher's a king now. Does anyone else think that that's really weird?
He whispered too.
Cypher, I want you to roll me perception.
oh my god, please. Oh, it's 9. Oh my god.
With the thoughts of your home still taking up most of your mind, you very proudly ride your horse ahead of everybody else with the 2 guards on your flanks. You look pretty majestic, but you have no idea what's going on behind you. All right, what does our marching order look like? Cypher, I'm already putting you in the front with the 2 guards directly behind you on horses.
Good. I'm not a peasant. I don't go in the back.
How's everyone
Amir
else?
has the highest survival, and I'm a close second.
Okay. So are you guys directly behind Cypher?
Yeah, that works for me.
I'm going to be riding next to Cypher.
So you're also riding up front.
Yes, because I have the survival. I was the one that rolled survival.
Right. Okay. Tazarek, you're taking up the rear?
Yeah.
So you guys continue southward at this point, it's been about 4.5 miles. We'll say 55 minutes in.
All right, guys, everyone dismount.
Does everyone dismount?
Yeah,
I
that's why I
dismount.
said chew.
Okay, gotcha. So you guys all dismount, and a couple minutes later, the horses disappear, and now you are trekking on foot through what you find to be fairly thick snow. For most of you, it comes up to halfway up your shins. It does not look like this trail has been immediately tread upon. The 2 guards that are with you, Cypher, look around, and they almost look lost for a moment. Our tracks are gone. We walked through here. It wasn't quite this deep, but we walked through here a day or 2 ago. It didn't look anything like this.
What are you trying to say?
It's weird that there's snow. There was flurries when we had come up this way, but
See, oh wait, I want to see if I still have it. Oh, I don't think I have it. I was gonna see if I had detect magic, if it was magic.
I mean, you can do an Arcana check.
12, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. 18.
Yes, there actually is a very, very faint residual magical aura to the snow that is falling and had fallen around you.
Guys, I think something is up. I'm getting a magical aura from this snow. I
Can you
want
just
everyone to be on their guard.
All right. So, for the sake of this, we're going to do a little bit of a time jump as you guys are traveling south. It's a week-long trip. I want you guys to roll me 3 separate people perception checks.
Who has the most perception? I have 5.
I have +6.
But I have 1.
Nova, Tazra.
I'm +0, so.
Oh god.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm +3.
Okay, then it has to be us 3. You guys ready to roll?
I rolled a natural 20 +6.
12 plus 5. How do you have?
Oh, I'm actually +6 now. So I have 10. I rolled naturally a 4.
So you guys travel south for the next week. It is absolutely miserable, and the air appears to get colder the further south you travel, which is really weird.
Wait. I'm pretty good in the winter. Remember that.
You are. Actually, you know what? With that, because you are able to help your party travel quicker in Arctic conditions, right?
Yes.
Isn't that your favorite terrain?
Yes.
So it takes you a little bit to get accustomed to the snowfall, but ultimately, with Cypher largely as your guide, you guys make really good time to the crossroads, the halfway point. So you guys actually get there in 5 days opposed to a week. But over the course of those 5 days, you guys experience there's some strange occurrences. So Thamir, you are standing watch. This is the night before you get to the crossroads. In the middle of the night, you hear a twig crunch somewhere off in the distance, and looking in that direction in the faint moonlight, you see a semi-translucent creature stalking through the woods. It doesn't seem to notice you, but the way that it's moving, and this is because you rolled a natural 20, you're able to pick up some extra stuff. It seems to be hunting. It seems to be at least on your guys' scent. And over the course of the night, as you watch this creature, you see it moving its way in and out of the trees.
How
Is
far
there
away is it?
anything at its closest that it gets to you? 30 yards?
Yeah, I'll move closer towards it.
Okay.
You're
Are you
crazy.
waking any of your companions before this?
I'll wake up Taz.
We're going to say, for the sake of this, that Tazarek was standing watch with you at the time.
Okay.
So all you do is kind of get his attention. Tazarek, you don't see what he's talking about, but it seems like Thamir is motioning to something in the woods.
All right, I'm going to move closer to it.
I'm gonna hang back a little bit, but
Okay.
I'm definitely gonna have weapons out, ready to go.
Thamir, roll me a stealth check.
12.
Motherfucker, this thing rolled an 11.
Damn.
So you do not move through the woods sneakily, but it's sneakily enough, kind of with the snow almost like absorbing the sound of your footsteps. You make it over to this thing. How close do you want to get?
I'll get within 60 feet of it.
Do you have dark vision?
I do not.
Okay. Just in the moonlight, you see this creature slightly more clearly, but not enough to really determine what it is.
Okay, I am going to cast Fairy Fire.
So you cast this, and immediately this vicinity of the forest lights up in a pale green, reflecting brightly against the snow around it. And you can now see this creature pretty clearly. It is a semi-corporeal creature with a grotesque face and
Oh, it's Matixia.
Whoa.
it looks like various features on its face have been rearranged. It realizes that a spell was just cast on it, and it begins to look wildly around in every direction. There is a ice snow kind of quality to this creature. You could see, in addition to like this pale green light that is now illuminating it, a kind of white look to its transparency. It's almost looking through a fog, like looking through a fog cloud. And Tazaruk, you now see what got his attention, although, and actually where you guys are, there are sporadically trees, but it's fairly open.
Is it alone?
You do not see anything else, only this single creature.
Can I tell what it is?
You know what? Roll me an intelligence check. Tazaruk, you don't need to roll one because you recognize this thing.
I got a 14.
It is something magic-based. You've never seen it before. You've kind of heard of it before, but you've never seen one in person. Tazaruk, you recognize this thing as a very similar iteration to the creature Jeff had manifested in the hallway at the inn in Kent just a couple days prior. This one is snow-based. The one that Jeff had manifested was more like a smoky kind of thing, but this one is more in touch with its surroundings.
Interesting.
And it is looking around wildly for you guys.
Wait,
Looking for us, like in a.
It is looking for whatever just cast this spell on it.
I was like, can I go wake up the rest of the group somewhat
Yeah.
quietly?
Yeah?
Is it doing so in like a menacing kind of way?
Yes, very much so. The rest of the group wakes up. Oh, what's going on?
We may have a problem, guys.
What's going on?
There's some sort of creature, and I
Creature,
think
you
it's
say?
hunting us.
Creature, you say? What type of creature is it?
It's kind of like the thing that Jeff made to guard Nova, except snow instead of whatever the hell he made it out of.
Okay. Can I cast speak with creatures?
You can try. It will require you walking out and attempting to speak to it.
Oh, fuck that. I'm just awake.
I want to
What?
cast lightning bolt.
Natural 18.
Damn it.
Does it take
How-
half damage?
Yeah.
How far is this creature?
30 yards from where you are, Cypher.
So I rolled a 31, so half of that.
Okay. A brilliant display of lightning shoots across the dark night, briefly illuminating the entirety of your surroundings, casting shadows every which way. You guys feel this startling chill take to the air, even worse than what was previously there. The creature that you had damaged looks like it's injured severely, but it's still kicking, and it is now glaring back at you with these terrifying eyes.
All right. Well, I mean, I used my action, so.
Can I use Hunter?
Yeah, that's as a bonus action.
Alright, I'm gonna cast it. I'm aiming at it and I'm gonna shoot my bow and arrow. So 11.
Your arrow, you were staring at it when this lightning bolt flew through the sky, its direction, and your night vision is kind of fucked up right now.
Oh god.
Because of this, and your shot goes way off target, embedding itself deep into one of the few trees around it. Tazarek, what are you doing?
Where am I in relation to this thing?
Still 90 feet away.
So I'm gonna move 40 feet towards it so that I'm 50 feet away. I'm gonna cast Create Bonfire on the area where the creature is.
What's the number to beat?
12.
Okay, roll for damage.
3.
It had 3 HP remaining. This creature burns away to nothingness. It's also entirely silent, but again, with that bonfire, you guys further illuminate your position among, essentially, it's like you guys are like kind of in a field. There are sporadic trees, and it's mostly flat. So,
Can I do another perception check?
yeah, go for it. Cypher, Matixia, I want both of you to roll perception checks as well.
I got a 10.
I got 16.
11.
Matixia, there is this eerie silence, save the faint crackling of the bonfire that was just created out of nowhere, like kind of 90 feet away from you. You just wipe the last of sleep from your eyes, and there's just this kind of eerie silence. And then suddenly you hear off in the distance the sound of like almost like a gust of wind. But it's odd because there hasn't really been any wind that you can recall over the last 4 days. And it sounds like it's getting closer.
What are my peasants?
They have taken up defensive positions around you and are now staring off into the darkness, scanning for additional threats.
Yeah, anyone know what the fuck that thing was? Or where it came from?
I didn't get a really good look at it, but I don't think we should stay here. Suddenly the rest of you hear this loud whoosh from the west. Still a little bit in the distance, but it's approaching.
Yeah, I think we should leave.
Yeah, I agree. I cast Conjure Animals and conjure 8 more horses.
Is everyone getting aboard the horse, getting on top of the horses?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
With that, you guys ride as hard and as fast as you can into the night. You guys ride essentially through the night, just away from this noise, and you arrive at the crossroads, or what remains of the crossroads. As the sun rises, glistening against the snow, you see a devastated, empty town, and we're going to leave it at that.
No.
Balls.
No.
This is